Welcome to Spoken Reviews, home of the Spoken Reviews. Well, guys, it's been a fun week in Florida, but it's time to make that 700-mile trip back to Texas. Yep, we will be leaving early in the morning to head back to Texas, so please join us and enjoy the journey. All right, guys, we're starting off our journey bright and early. Well, early, not even bright yet. It's 5 a.m. Now, looking at the map, we're going to have 4 stops, so not too bad. Again, it was 5 stops here from Texas, from Fort Worth all the way down to Destin, Florida, and headed back. We're going to actually stop in Houston and spend Thanksgiving with the family. So again, follow us along as we hit these 4 stops. Typically, in a gas vehicle with no stops, it'd be a 10-hour drive, but with the stops that we'll have, it should take about 12 hours, a little bit under 12 hours, and we will hit some traffic. So here we are just heading out of Destin, Florida, headed to our very first stop, which is going to be at the Buc-ee's in Alabama. About an hour and a half stretch, the first piece. Now, as you guys can see, we did not leave with a full battery. We left with the battery that we had left. And we didn't decide to charge before we left, right? We figured, hey, the map says we'll make it. We'll trust the map. We'll make it, right? So here we are getting closer to the stop. That first stretch was always kind of rough, because you're still waking up. But here we are about three miles out, and you can see the truck is doing the preconditioning to ensure that we have the best speed on the charger, but about 100 miles so far, so doing pretty good. Here we are charged in. You can see it was 104 miles total from the timeshare to the first stop. Plug it in. Always fun, always kind of satisfying. The fact that it works so well is awesome. Now, I will say that with my Mach-E, that Ford's also done a commendable job with getting their chargers to work. All right, so you can see it's ramping up. And the speeds, let's see, just about to hit 100 kilowatts. And these are rated at 250 max for these version 3. So if I can pull 250 for, a good portion of the battery, I'm happy. As you can see, 174. So getting up there, closer to 200. Now passing 200. And over 250, right? So yeah, pretty good, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for. And you're only going to stay there for, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the charge. But always fun to go to Buc-ee's. By the way, these breakfast burritos with brisket are pretty delicious. So highly recommend them. Pretty expensive though. They're like $5.50 for a breakfast burrito. But hey, inflation. Again, just enjoying these chargers. Love the relationship that Buc-ee's has all across the South with Tesla having the chargers. It's the perfect relationship. I hope that other, big chains decide to, embrace the Tesla chargers because it's good business, right? And I do think that the people that are charging are going to be there longer, are probably going to spend more money per person inside the facility. So off and running, back on. So 1 stop down, 3 more to go to finish the road trip. As you can see, we're crossing this lovely bridge and we're about to leave this part. One of the cool things about just this I-10 stretch is it's really, really beautiful. And I think with the niceness of the full self-driving, it really lets you get a chance to just kind of observe the drive and really just kind of take in just the beauty, right? And it's kind of fun for me too to be in the moment, but to actually go back and watch the video and to kind of just really kind of soak in just how beautiful the country is. As you can see here, we are averaging a little bit below the rated range, and we are, about 1,000 miles total on the trip and 74 miles from when we left the Buc-ee's, right? So still doing pretty good. A couple spots where things slowed down and picked back up, but it's to be expected because this is actually the day before Thanksgiving. So one of the busiest travel days in the U.S. on I-10, which is just a notoriously very, very busy interstate for the U.S., right? Happy with the weather, no hard rain, no big fog. And we've done this drive before where we get stuck in, just really, really dense fog. So just, happy that we had just a safe and blessed trip. Again, making good timing, of course, going 81, speed of traffic, flow of traffic feels good, but I'm fully aware that this is going to, consume more battery life, which is fine. Because when you're going to have to make 4 stops anyway, once you start to realize that if you go slow versus if you go fast, you might, arrive at the, charger with 6 to, 10% more or less battery. But if you got to stop anyway, you got to stop anyway. All right, so here we are at the second charger, which was pretty nice. This one is actually at a Target. As you can see, ramping up the charge speeds here. This one was interesting because there were, I think, 12 chargers, and I want to say like 4 of the 12 were broken. All the ones on the far left were broken, and the ones on the far right were working. But we were happy that we didn't have to wait. We were able to pull in and just get going. As you can see, the charge speed is ramping up, and we pull in at 25%. So again, speeding and burning more power getting there wasn't going to make a difference. The walk into the Target wasn't so bad. It's also good to kind of just stretch the legs, get the blood flowing. Went in there, used the restrooms, got some Starbucks coffee, making it back out. As I was pointing out, all the chargers on the right-hand side are broken, and the ones on the left are working. But didn't have to wait, and we did have another Cybertruck there, so always good to see a fellow Cybertruck. Realistically, we didn't see a ton on this entire trip. I think we saw less than 10 total over the full 10 days that we've been gone. Again, just kind of stretching the legs, getting the kids their snacks, and getting ready for that moment. I think this was about a 25-minute total stop. So yeah, just really enjoying the charge. All right, and now it is time to go, right? So that's the key point, right? Never charge more than you have to unless it's your very last charge. Here, some of the traffic that we talked about, that kind of stinks. Some of the traffic, there might have been 1 or 2 accidents that caused traffic. Sometimes someone would get pulled over, people would slow down, or sometimes it's like a merging thing, right? Where a lane ends, things get a little crazy. Here, crossing this beautiful bridge and getting into Louisiana, which again, just really just kind of soaking in the beauty of it, right? So just the architecture, it's always kind of fun, right? And like I mentioned before earlier, full self-driving really does let you, you're driving and you're in charge and you're watching, but it's almost like being a passenger to a degree, right? Watching the truck do its thing, but really just kind of soaking it in, right? And yeah, it's been going real smooth. So here you can see at this point we're cruising because again, we've 2 stops down, 2 to go. I know at this point, hey, I'm going to have to stop anyway, so I might as well, go with the flow of traffic. Now, I did kind of figure out one of the little hacks, again, 75 miles since the last charge here, that if, pull out a recording device while driving, as long as you keep your eyes on the road and potentially have your hand on the wheel, especially at the top, you don't get as many warnings from the truck. But if you were to have the hand at the bottom of the wheel while pulling out some type of device or anything in your hand, really, you do get warnings. If you get enough, it will kick you out of the full self-driving, which happened to me. Here we are at, over 100 plus miles from the last charge, still just rolling, going 75. Again, my preference is to be within 5 miles of the speed limit. Here we're at another stop. As you can see, 114 miles total from the last stop. So again, Not too much. These are just kind of like short little sprints. Going to stop here. Kids need to use the restroom, which worked out good for us. We're going to go into this Petco and get going. But right now I'm just kind of watching the charge speeds. And again, still pulling pretty good charge speeds. Now, this was the one stop that we did have to wait like maybe 6 to 8 minutes for a spot, which is fine. The one thing that kind of irked me is the person that was leaving knew people were waiting, and they unplugged and they were still like taking their time doing stuff, which is fine. But I think it's more etiquette to, once you're done, you see people waiting, unplug, pull out, and then do whatever you have to do inside your vehicle. But good opportunity for the kids to get out and look at fishes. So the kids love animals, and just kind of, getting out the car and seeing stuff, right? It kind of breaks up the ride for them too, right? Us driving 2 hours, then taking a break, 2.5 hours, then taking a break. Really, really worked out for us. Again, this is stop number 3, which was cool because we actually did make some, small talk with some different people, different Tesla owners, just talking about their experiences with Tesla, the things they liked, the things that they didn't like, how it is road tripping with them. A lot of people were all using full self-driving, and you'll learn that the Tesla community is really friendly, right? So people love to have conversations. One of the gentlemen that I met, he just got his first Tesla a week ago, and I was telling him about some of my experiences over the last 5+ years owning EVs, and he was really appreciative of that. I was kind of giving some charge advice about his home charging and tips to maintain his battery, right? So always good to share information, just because it's all one big community. I think this year, I think it's about 10% of all vehicles sold in the U.S. are EVs, which is great, right? So it's still, a growing percent, but we're kind of phasing out of the early adopters and getting into the beginning of the mainstream, which is fantastic, right? So always good to share that information. Again, another beautiful bridge, and it's important, right? Like, just to kind of appreciate the infrastructure and the highway system and interstate system that we have in the U.S. and what makes our country so unique and special. But yeah, really kind of just fun to kind of soak it in, right, as the vehicle's doing this thing. All right, so again, now we're kind of in the home stretch because we know that we have pretty much one stop left, right? So we've made our first 3 stops, one left to go, getting close to, getting into Texas. And we all know that for most of our drives, Texas ends up being, just because of the sheer size, ends up being about a third of the drive typically ends up being just in Texas. So here we are, stopping here, getting charged up, and this is going to actually be our final stop. And we've already made it to Beaumont, which is pretty close to the border of Texas and Louisiana. Still a good distance from where we're headed at in Houston, but we're getting to the point where we're going to hit traffic, right? So it's Wednesday. We're going to hit some 5 o'clock traffic. So we kind of recognize that. Plus, we want to get a little extra power to keep going, right? So I think mileage wise, I think we were like, within 60 miles from our destination, but it was, saying like almost 2 hours just because of traffic, right? So Houston, 4th biggest city in America, you can imagine. Plus, the day before Thanksgiving, not the best situation, right? It can be traffic on any regular day. Nice little shopping center. A little disappointed that, and this is in a nice area of town in Beaumont, but like 3 stores had signs that were like no public restrooms, customers only, which is fine, right? Like, that's y'all's right to do that, y'all's priority. We did go into a Marble Slab and get like an ice cream cone for the kids, use the restroom. But I think it kind of comes with the territory of whenever you have the Tesla superchargers, and I don't know if, like in a shopping center, if it's the company that owns, the shopping center does the investment or whatever, right? I'm kind of going on a rant, but some of the stuff seems a little like unreasonable to not, let people use the bathroom, right? And completely understand like people should, buy something or whatever. But some of the signs seemed a little, I don't know, offsetting. And I look forward to having more, Tesla superchargers in traditional like rest stops, gas station stops. I think the perfect spot for them would be the state, rest stops that they have. That you pull over on the side of the highway and they have the rest stops. That'd be the perfect location because people are stopping there resting anyway. You could set up EV chargers. Maybe you charge them at the actual cost. And you're not actually, hitting them with a huge profit, but that's fine. Truck is looking good at all angles. Really enjoying it. One thing that's funny is that when you're driving at highway speeds, it's in low mode, and then as soon as you pull off, it raises itself up to medium mode, which I can definitely tweak that in the settings. But it's almost like the Cybertruck wants to flex, right? Like when people can see it, it's like let me stand up a little bit so I can look good, right? So I enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be installing some step boards for the sides to get in and out of a little bit easier. But at this point, we're looking at the map. We're doing the math. All right, we're headed towards Katy. You guys can see some of the yellow traffic jams. So again, kind of tough that such a short amount of mileage can take so long. But the way that we timed it, if we'd have came 2 hours earlier, we'd have beat the rush hour traffic, or 2 hours later, we'd have beat it. But neither here nor there. Made it to the destination. Happy to be home. Super excited to be here for Thanksgiving after a lovely, week in Destin, Florida. The truck did absolutely amazing. As you can see, this last stretch was 105 miles. So pretty good. Total miles since we've left, you can see it's, pretty intense, right? Like, so we're just under 1,500 miles total, right? And we still have to make it back to Dallas. So the trip continues, and there will be a part 3. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are appreciating this non-Foundation Series Cybertruck content. Happy to put it out there. Love to get the response and feedback that you guys are leaving. This truck is phenomenal. It's a great truck. It's a great truck for families. It's a great truck for doing truck stuff. It's an overall fantastic vehicle. Love the fact that it's, bold and brave, and it's really like a spaceship, right? So it's kind of fun being a part of the journey. Please leave any comments below. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, I'll link my referral code. If you guys are interested in a Cybertruck or any other Teslas, and you've found my, content interesting, go ahead and use my referral code, right? It's always awesome. It benefits both of us. I think you guys get like $1,000 discount. And right now they're doing a double referral, so you might get $2,000 discount, which is phenomenal for you. And I get a little, incentive for myself too. So I appreciate that. Also, like and subscribe. It really does help me and the channel. Whenever you like the video, it helps the algorithm. Whenever you subscribe, it helps the algorithm, and it helps me, just me and the channel be more successful, so I can bring more content like this to everyone. Anyways, guys, happy holidays. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their trucks. If you have a question or comment, again, leave it below. Let's have that interaction in that community in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.